Okay, hi, it's 2:26 on Friday. Um, I haven't gotten a chance to look at your assignments from this morning. I appreciate that many of you posted sample questions for all of us to respond to in the discussion forums, and I hope that my comments back were helpful. Um, but I'll get to those probably tomorrow. Uh, but I did want to just comment a little bit on this week, and I had a little diagram here to show uh, what I was trying to emphasize this week in comments, and I hope I'll be able to do this in marking your assignments. Really, this notion that what we've been doing throughout the course really builds on itself, much like the evaluation hierarchy that we studied back in, I guess, week 1 or 2. Talks about how there's a logic to and a hierarchy to the types of evaluations that we've been progressing through, right? You essentially start with the need that you're trying to address with your social program. You then think about, well, what is it that I should be doing in order to address that social program? Sort of like the theoretical model, the logic model of your action, and how it hopefully ameliorates the social need that you're trying to address. And then after you've decided what you hope to do in theory, you see if you're actually doing that in practice through the implementation study. And now in this week we'll be talking about, well, if you actually implemented the theory that you hoped would address the need, does it actually have the impact on the need that you were hoping for? And finally, I guess later in the course we'll talk about efficiency a little bit. But the point here is that the program theory builds on your understanding of the need. Your implementation evaluation follows your understanding of the program theory and the need, and the impact builds upon your implementation of the theory that you hope addresses the need. And so I came up with this pithy little thing. That was pithy, not something else. Saying, right, that all that is and follows has to logically flow from and relate back to what has come before. I feel like J.R. Tolkien or something in The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings, right? And I want to emphasize that because as we progress through our evaluations, and particularly this week, as you were trying to think of survey questions, you need to make sure that your questions really do logically flow from the need you're trying to, the identified need, your theory of how you can actually solve or address that need, the implementation of the theory that actually addresses the need, and this week, the impact. Okay? And so in many of my comments back to your sample questions, survey questions, it really had to do with, well, why are you asking this question, and how does it relate back to your understanding of the implementation of the program, and or are you trying to get some notion of impact, right? And so if the questions don't kind of logically relate back to what we've been talking about and the progression of our thought through the evaluation hierarchy, then they're just sort of random questions that may be interesting to ask, but will they actually be able to fit into this evaluation framework that then will allow you at the end to say something about the program that will either validate or affirm, that's the word, affirm that the program is actually doing something worthwhile, or identify how the program can be improved in order to actually better ameliorate the need as identified way back here. Okay, and so I know that's really hard to do on two counts. One is to keep all of this sort of logic flowing together and building progressively on what you've thought and done in the past. And then even if you have that mental concept in your head, the tricky part of writing survey questions or interview questions is to make them precise enough that you get reliable, valid, and specified? No, sensitive answers back. Okay? And it's all really tricky to do, but I hope that conceptually you're getting there, and in practice you're getting there as well. Okay? Now, this week, I'll dare say, is probably the most challenging week of the course, although I haven't gotten to we haven't gotten to weeks 6, 7, and 8 yet, so maybe I'm underestimating what that's going to be like. But I say that because this week in the readings, as I went over them, we're clearly getting into material that I don't think is covered anywhere else in the program. This is statistical, and this material has to do with regression analysis, multiple regression analysis, statistics, and stuff that is really beyond the scope of this program. It's stuff that I learned a long time ago in my public policy work that was really heavy-duty quantitative, and we had economics courses, micro and macroeconomics, and we had statistics, and we had computer courses, heavy-duty quant stuff. That's not what this program's about, so I think that the material that we're reading this week will be difficult for some of you because it's brand new. So we'll try to make our way through it. Also, the case study this week on the Harlem Children's Zone is also a long one, and the exhibits are complicated. So, we'll try to make it through the week, try to understand the basics of what we can understand, and the more rigorous quantitative aspects of regressions and other stuff like that are really vague in my own mind, that I'll have to brush up on a little bit this week, and maybe brush up a lot on this week. We'll just take it for what it's worth. Okay? It is what it is. Okay, so I look forward to reading your surveys tomorrow, and seeing how the coming week works. I see that we're scheduled to talk again in the 6th week of the course. Real phone calls. It's a real assignment. But if you want to call beforehand and talk a little bit this week, I'd be happy to do that as well. Okay? Okay. Look forward to seeing you online. Okay. Bye-bye.